Speaking of starting from zero, um, man, so much backlash from our girl Emma Grede. She's on her book tour, on her podcast tour. I actually have a copy of her book. I haven't read it yet, but I am going to make it my business to read it. All this
She
controversy
makes it
going on.
sound
Yes.
fantastic.
So you want to talk about what's going on with Emma Grede in the second backlash she got this week?
So, like you mentioned, Emma Grede is on her podcast tour. She's promoting her book and she's doing a phenomenal job, but she
Yeah.
does have certain takes that are non traditional. And so last podcast episode we said one of her non-traditional takes was that she said that work from home culture was the number one killer for women
Yes.
in for their careers.
Yes.
So now she's facing a little bit of backlash again for so she goes on a podcast and she admits to having an opportunity to invest in a black owned brand, a
Yeah.
black woman owned brand
Yes.
called MA I don't forgot the
M.A. Cole?
no
Right?
Amicole or something.
Amicole? Did I say it
something like
right?
that,
But
yeah. It
Amy Cole. We just gonna call it Amy Cole.
It's not Amy Cole.
Sorry if we
Amicole.
butchering the name.
Amicole, I think it is like that.
Okay.
She had an opportunity to invest in them early on, and she decided not to.
Okay.
And when the interviewer asked, well, why didn't you invest early on? And she said that she generally does not invest in first time founders
Yes.
unless they are extraordinary
And-
or have an extraordinary idea.
Yes. So I think that's the first part that when I read the headline and seen the clip, because we live in clip culture. Nobody
course.
watches the whole clip or go watch the whole podcast. They just see the little 15-second clip. I was like, ugh.
It was harsh.
That didn't sound right?
It was harsh.
So I actually know of the story of Amicole. I've seen the young lady going online when she was going through shutting the business down and all of that. So they raised about $1 million. So she pitched Emma Grede. Emma Grede said no, but she eventually went on to raise money. So it's not like it was a sad story that Emma Grede didn't invest in her. So she raised about $1 million. She has a beauty brand that was diverse for different shades of makeup and all that. I'm sure you know more about that than me, right? And her whole niche and her whole business plan was black women are so unique and diverse. You got black women that are your color, and then you got black women that are her color because she's very dark skinned. And that don't make neither one of y'all not black, right? Y'all are both black women. So for a company that service predominantly white women, they don't make shades for your color and her color. They might make something that's closer to you, but
and
then
not
now it's
so
kind of leaving her out of the picture.
Right.
But if they make something closer to her, now you're like, man, this doesn't fit me. So Amicole created all of these products that would service that industry, right? But the problem is she went directly to retail. She only raised $1 million, and I know $1 million sounds like a lot of money. It's not. Not when you
not
got,
for the scale that they were
not
going
when
after.
you get, not when you get in 30 retail stores, not when you have your online e-commerce, not when you have to have product and product development, not when you have to have $1 million marketing campaigns, not when you have to have staff, and then we ain't even thought about the boss. As the boss, you got to pay yourself last. How's she gonna survive? She don't come from a rich family. If she did, she didn't need Emma Grede. So $1 million sound like a lot of money to somebody who's never really been in business.
Yeah.
But once you raise that money can be spent and go pretty fast. So,
but and then the problem is that they probably moved too fast, right?
Yeah.
Probably. But unfortunately, the company folded.
Yes, but I think the part that put that was a little distasteful in my mouth is when Emma Grede said, I turned the deal down and I don't invest in first-time founders unless they have something extraordinary about them. So I'm like,
So
Wow. So you think nothing is
is this
extraordinary
not
about her?
exactly? Is she not extraordinary? Is her idea
That's
about
how.
darker shades and
Yes.
expanding palettes of makeup,
And
is
then
that not
she and the
extraordinary?
immigrant was like, in so many words, that's a fad. It's going. I knew it was going to go
Yeah,
away.
it was
Like,
gonna come, it was gonna
yeah,
go.
it's going to come and it's going to go. And this is a lot of context. This was in the middle of the George Floyd pandemic. Black Lives Matter. A lot of that's the only reason she was able to raise the $1 million is because
Mm,
these companies was making all these announcements and
yeah,
saying we're going to invest in black, and she was just the poster child for that.
yeah.
So basically, she said in her interview she was pitching companies for I guess like a year or so before this, getting no, they not showing up
Yeah.
to meetings, people not giving her anything. And then after the George Floyd stuff and all these announcements, the investors start calling her back and say,
Hmm.
"Hey, we'll give you 500,000. We'll
Yeah.
give you $250,000. We'll give you two hundred
Well, she
thousand.
said in a interview with Emma Grede when she got the $1 million offer, it was kind of like take it now or it's off the table. It was a
Exactly.
little bit of pressure to it.
It was like, hey, take this. We just want to show that we invested in
Yeah.
black owned. We want to show we made our commitment. Take this money.
And so she took it, but again, maybe she could have took like 50 more million from some
Exactly, right? Because the type of business she was trying to
the type of
grow and the
scale.
type of scale she
Yes,
was under, she was really set up to fail. Unfortunately, it
kinda.
sounds crazy
Yeah.
that somebody give you $1 million and it's set up to fail, but taking that $1 million was probably the worst thing she could have did. She was better off bootstrapping.
Because then they put her in like 30, like you said, 30 to 50 Sephora.
Was it Sephora or
It,
Ulta or one?
it
What
was Sephora.
Sephora,
Yes,
okay,
because and here's the thing. She had a really good following.
yeah,
So like when it folded, there were I saw videos of people crying.
but
Like people were really invested in the brand. I just don't think it was turning over enough to.
but it might have been. But here's the thing: if you have an online website, this is the problem with e-commerce and the problem with commerce today. If you have an online brand and I fall in love with your brand online,
Mhm.
and then you say, "Hey, we're launching in 30 Sephoras across town," and I look up and you're in my local Sephora,
Yeah.
same price, same product. Okay, I'm gonna stop shopping with you online
And start going to Sephora.
and waiting 7 days or whatever,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna just go straight to Sephora.
And pick it up.
So you've bled out all of your loyal online customers. Now they're not shopping with you, and that's your highest profit margin
Mm.
because you can't sell something online for cheaper than you selling it in a retail store. The retail store is not going to allow that. But in retail, you got to pay the retailer. So now you got a thick part of your margin that you have to give up to them, and you got to run marketing campaigns that are geared directly towards that demographic or that area. So the Chicago area is different than Detroit. Detroit is different than
Mm.
LA. LA is different than
So now you
Atlanta.
gotta diversify your campaigns.
Your
according to
campaigns, you
region.
need individual campaigns for all of these different markets that you're in. The woman that is influential in LA, it might not be influential in Detroit.
Yeah.
Like Cash Doll, for example, she's very influential in
Yeah.
Detroit and maybe Atlanta.
Mhm.
But like bringing her to New York,
It's not the same.
people not really checking for Cash Doll. No, this is not no shot at her,
No
but they're not
shade.
checking for Cash Doll in LA like they are checking for her in Detroit because
Mhm.
Detroit is where she's from.
Right.
Even like like a Jada Waiter, they're real big in Atlanta, Houston. But if you take them to other places, they are not as valuable.
Yeah.
And you know how that goes. You got to go where your demographic is.
That's true.
So now she's running all these different campaigns, paying all these different models, and then the messaging is it's not really sticking. So yes, let's say your sales are up. It's possible that your sales are up, but because you in 40 stores and online, your business is down.
Yeah, yeah. Because everybody needs a piece of it. So
Exactly.
so at the end of the day, so her company unfortunately it folded. It did have a
Yes.
cult following. People loved it. Like I said, ladies was crying, but it folded. Now, here's the thing.
I think the part though that a lot of the backlash came is when Emma basically announced that she was gonna try to hire her.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
go
So
into that part.
the thing is, so once the company folded, Emma had that opportunity to be the early investor. She denied it, but apparently they stayed close.
Yes.
So once it folded, Emma, the first person on the line, like, "Hey, girl, you need anything?" And she said, the founder's name I think is Daria Day. She said, she said, "Yeah, I need a job. Like, it's done. Like, I thought a lot about it. It was a hard decision, but it's done." And so she was like, "Yeah, if I have a spot for you, I'll make sure." And surely enough, she had a spot for her.
Yeah.
So it's like the backlash comes in because I thought this person wasn't extraordinary. I thought she didn't have an extraordinary idea. She's obviously valuable enough now to enrich you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you couldn't enrich her?
Yeah. But okay,
That's tough.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of agree with Emma on this standpoint. And the only reason I agree with Emma from this standpoint is because I've been that entrepreneur. And my whole story is the reason I started my company is because I couldn't get hired in media.
Okay.
I couldn't get a good media job.
Okay.
Right? So the jobs that they were offering me was like ridiculous. But I cut my teeth and I actually tried to build a media company. With all of my savings, I wasted about $50,000 that I had saved up when I was a banker, and I went broke. Mm-hmm. But that education taught me how to build this brand.
Right.
So now I'm extremely valuable. So yes, CNN will hire me now.
Yeah.
Because they see what I've built. Mm-hmm. But CNN wouldn't have hired me or invested in me when I had my idea. So it's kind of unfortunate that when you start a business,
you have to prove yourself, is what you're saying?
When you start a business and you fail, it's unfortunate for you because you're broke, you're embarrassed, but you're a lot valuable to a corporation because you can come in and the problems that Amy Cole had, Skims doesn't have. They got money. They got infrastructure.
Right.
They got the models.
Right.
All they need is somebody's experience
to
doing
slide
it.
in there.
You slide right in. You get your nice salary.
Yeah.
It all works out. So I think that's the unfortunate part about capitalism. It's kind of like it's like you taking advantage of the fact that she can't go raise no more money because she failed. She don't have a job. But she got that experience. That experience is great over here. So it's kind of like, like how you were saying you didn't like how Emma was laughing or like her tone towards her.
Yeah.
But Emma is seeing green because she's look at this experience. And think about it. She didn't have to pay for that experience. She didn't even lose no money on it. So now you got all this corporate experience.
Right.
You didn't lose the other people money. I don't have to train you. You come in as a great employee. You're going to be a great asset to the company. So from a capitalistic standpoint, I agree with Emma. But from a just listening in, it does sound very harsh.
Well, for me, listening to her, I think I got a better idea of her sense of exchange, right? You do something for me, I do something for you. Like I had a better sense. Like she is very capitalistic.
Yeah.
What I will say is, you were a first-time founder at one point.
Yes.
So it also gives, you're not looking at your experience and saying, "Hey, I want to give somebody else a break. I want to believe in this brand. I want to, whatever." Not to say that she's never, ever invested in a first-time founder before, because she may have.
She have.
Yeah, so it's the idea that, like, why is it is it because she's a Black founder? Is it because she has a concept that's for the Black community? Because
all of that is part of it.
I was about to say, because she also said that this girl doesn't owe the community anything. She said who she owes is her family and the people that she directly supports. She owes them to have a job. So she feels like
I agree.
Yeah, she feels like me giving her a job and not investing in her company, which was for the community. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah, see
instead
the
of investing in her company that was for the community to benefit from,
now
I'm going
I'm
to invest in
investing.
you directly so
Yeah.
that you could feed your family, and you don't owe the community
To
nothing.
be honest, what Emma did is great because she put now the founder can always say on my resume I was the VP or director or some I built the Skims brand. So now
Skims is a bigger brand.
Skims a bigger brand. If she go work there for 10 years, she's going to be able to go raise some money just off the fact that I was the VP and I introduced Skims product to the market. That so now it's like I had a brand before, I failed, I learned, I put that into Skims, made it valuable. Now I can go to investors, and now investors would love to invest in somebody like that who tried with somebody else's money, failed, went and got a job, tried on somebody else's dime again, and now you're that third time you're ready to be successful. But shout out to Emma Grede. Her book is out. I have it. And she's on tour as well. Are you gonna go see her?
I don't know if I'm going to go see her, but I think I do, only because from the little snippet, we are juxtaposed. Like,
Yeah, y'all kind of.
yeah, we're different. I have more empathy, but I mean, shout out to her. She got more money, so who's
But
winning?
I think intelligence and growth is about being able to listen to people you disagree with. Like I do that a lot. I listen to podcasts that I know based on the title, headline, and who talking. I'm not going to agree with it, but I still listen just to hear their side and their perspective, and I listen to other people. So that's just how I do it. Everybody's
And
not the
for me, it I can listen to another side, but it has to be impact driven, right? So I have to know that you understand the impact of what you say. And if you like, yeah, I understand that by me, navigating in this way, millions of lives are going to be impacted negatively, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, then at least you're informed. I
yeah.
don't necessarily know that we always are having conversations and centering the impact. That is something that I would be willing to listen to. Honestly, you know what? I'm not gonna get into it. Let's move on.
Thank you guys for watching. In order to continue to support independent journalism, I need you to subscribe down to the page below. And if you want the full podcast and more exclusive content, I need you to subscribe to the Patreon. Link is in the description.